Crafters, thanks for joining me here in the attic. So pull up a chair, grab your favorite beverage, and let's get to crafting and memory keeping. Welcome to day 18 of Fairy Wings and Forgotten Things. If you are new here, all the information is down in the description box, and there is a complete playlist where you can go back and catch up on this month's happenings with the fairies. I'm not going to go into too much detail with that. Since we are on day 18, there is a little bit of time to catch up if you still want to play along before this event ends at the end of the month. So today is day 18, so be sure to go over to your fairy guide, It's a Crafty Life, and see what she's got in store for you today, and grab that official fairy token and prompt. Professor Fernscribe today is going to visit the world of the flower nymph, and she will be learning more about the fairy. And our prompt is fairy of any style. My challenge I've given myself today is to create with kind of a reckless abandonment. I am a longtime follower of the Paper Outpost, and she uses that phrase a lot. And it kind of called to me today. I wanted to just kind of clear my desk off, but instead of putting everything away, I just want to start grabbing things that's on my desk to create this page. I have a lot of things on the desk. Hopefully that'll work out well, and let's see what we can create. Definitely need a pocket for my information card. Need flowers, since this is the world of the flower nymph. So my idea is I want to create just a field of wildflowers here. I'm going to slide my card over. I already started with a base page. This is my kit that I'm working with. It is the flower nymph section of my kit. I've fussy cut out some embellishments from my kit. I think this might have been Leslie's kit and also my kit. I've got some charms that I had in a little drawer on my desk, and one happened to be a fairy, so I thought that would work well. I've got some washi tape that has some flowers on it, and I'm gonna go with a pink tone here because these were both on my desk. I've got some ribbon, thread, all kinds of things, so let's just see what we can make. I have some die cuts because I had my die cuts out the other day when I was putting a page together, and I already had die cuts of some flowers, so I thought that was great being on my desk. So I'm going to grab out a bunch of these and just probably just kind of layer them. Actually, I'm probably going to grab out most of these and just layer them all over my page like this is a scene of wildflowers. So I'm going to speed this up and just add some music here as I lay out these wildflowers and get them all glued on. I've laid out my flowers here, and what I think I want to do now is I've got some green lace. I want to just add this to the bottom of my page to kind of add some interest there and also cover up the very ends of those flowers to where it looks like they're just kind of growing out of the ground. So let's grab this, trim that off, and let's grab our Fabri-Tac. I kind of overfixed my Fabri-Tac. I added a little pin in here that keeps it from clogging up but then sometimes it starts erupting. So let's hope for the best with the Fabri-Tac here, that I don't end up with so much glue everywhere. There we go, maybe it's cooperating today. I'm just going to add this lace trim right here. I think what I want to do now is work on what I'm going to do for the pocket for the information card. And I think I want to create a tag out of one of this little backing cards I had from the information cards. So I'm just going to make a rectangle here. Actually, I think I want to do that since all the edges here are torn. I want to just tear this. A little cleaner. Actually, I want to tear that a little further in because I started cutting. Didn't quite get all the way to that cut mark. There we go. And to make my tag, I am just going to cut off a corner here. And then I'm going to take that same corner, flip it, hold it up here, and cut that same amount off. Now I've got a little tag. I'm going to take my hole punch. Actually, I think I'm going to use my slotted punch and make a little punch there. And I think I'm going to put that right here to hold my information card. And I think I'm going to do it to where my information card tucks in like this, kind of sideways. Got some more scrapbook paper here. I think I'm going to cut this to make a cluster. Tear that. Give me another torn edge. To where this ends up clustering. I think I want it a little smaller. I'm going to do it like that. So I want to tear off a little bit on each side here. I'm not huge on measuring. If you want exact measurements, you can always measure to get the size you want. But I generally tend to just kind of hold things up, see how it looks. And I want to just put this to where, again, it kind of just forms that cluster. And I think I'm going to ink this up with the Vintage Photo and start gluing that down. No, the Vintage Photo is somewhere buried on my desk. There it is. This is one of the reasons I decided to do this little self-challenge to clean my desk off. A lot of times when I'm doing a big project like this, my desk ends up being kind of a stack of supplies that I haven't put away. because I might need them. But then it gets a little bit hard to create because you don't have any space on your desk. And all your supplies and tools are buried. Alright, so I'm gonna just glue down right here, here, and here, because again I want this to be a pocket. Actually, I think I'm gonna glue this onto here. So let's add my glue about right there. I'm going to kind of make this an extended pocket here. Okay, let's see how this would work. So that'll go into there. So I'm just going to glue here, here, and this piece. There we go. That'll work. So I'm going to go right up here. Before I do that, I want to tuck in this little piece of ribbon before I glue that down. There we go. And I can cut that once I get it the way I want it. There we go. Add that right there. I'm probably going to have to come back and add a little bit more glue there where I just tucked in that ribbon. But maybe not. Let's see how that ends up. I think I want to just add a little bit of Fabri-Tac right there to let that ribbon go over. Hold that down. We are almost at the weekend, guys. That means week 3 is almost over. Several people have asked about the troll pictures and tags that were in day 15's video. If you go over to my Facebook group, I will have those up as a bonus freebie later on this weekend. If you want to grab those. And I think I want to add some flowers here now. I think I'm going to add the ones from my fussy cuts. Let's see. Sometimes less is more. One of my design team members was watching my video the other day and said he was taking on a personal challenge where I said something about having 1,000 items on one page. So we'll see if Nate over at Peach Domino Paper Crafts gets that challenge done. Like that. What do I like? I think I like this. Let's see. I'm going to do those like that, and then I'll come back and add some more stuff as I go. Today's not so much about pre-planning. I'm just kind of laying things down and seeing where the crafty spirit leads us. Sometimes that can be a lot of fun, just to not have a plan, but just see where creativity guides you. When October rolls around, I'm switching, and for the October collaboration, it will just be one video a week for that collaboration. So I'm going to kind of miss coming on and crafting and chatting with everybody. I'll probably do some extra videos that don't have anything to do with the October collaboration. I want to jump in and try to organize my craft room a little bit more. That kind of got put on hold. And I've got those wedding albums I want to work on. Like that. Let's see. I don't think I want to end up using that there. I think I'm going to put my little magnifying glass here. And I've also got some flowers that I think I'm going to use. I like that. Alright, so let's get this inked up and glued down. Don't forget, guys, to make sure if you're entering your projects for entries into this giveaway, be sure they're in the correct daily album for each prompt that your official fairy guide that day gave you, not the ones that Professor Fernscribe has gone on every day. Unless I said it was my official day, be sure you're following those other fairy guides for that. And it has to be in the correct album. We'll tally up all those entries. We've had some wonderful projects. If y'all haven't been over there, go check those out. There are some very talented people in the group. But each project entry gets you one entry into the drawing. And it will be done by random generator. So it's not the one that does the most projects. This time it is just the more projects you do, the more chances you have to win, because you'll have more entries into the giveaway. And there are 3 prizes, so there's 3 chances to win. Alright, I'm going to slide these. I think I'm about through with those die cuts. Slide that over there. I think I would like to carry this idea up to the top of this page. Let's see, do I like that? I think I do. So I'm going to cut that off there. And add my Fabri-Tac up here. Has anyone started making Christmas presents? Christmas is just around the corner. Hate to even talk about that. Sometimes we hadn't gotten past Halloween, which is one of my favorite holidays. Alright, so I've got my cluster here. I've took the lace and brought it the bottom to the top. Now what I think I want to do is create a little cluster up here for my flower nymph, and where I'm going to be attaching my dangle for my fairy piece right there. So what do I want to create that with? Let's see what I've got on my desk. I have another scrap of this that I could carry up here. Along with some of that lace. I think I might... What did I do with that other... There it is. Let's see. We did that as a cluster there. And then my flower nymph right here. Don't think I like that. Let's see. I'm going to cluster that. I'm going to tear this here and make my dangle for this right there, and possibly add a little bit more lace here. So let's ink these pieces up. And figure out how I want to attach that dangle. I think I'm going to tear this right here just so it doesn't stick out. Put that right there. That'll be like that. And do I want to put a little bit of this behind there? Let's go ahead and tear this and ink this up so I can get a visual of what that's going to look like. Actually, if I put that right there, I could pin this right onto the lace. I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go grab some pins. I know I said I was going to just create with what's on my desk, but unfortunately I don't think I have any pins to pin this, so I am going to jump up and grab that and come right back. I did not have to go far. These were technically still part of my desk. They were in a drawer here on my desk. So I've grabbed that, and I want to clip these on. I may change the jump rings here, make them a little smaller. Let's see. I'm going to see how this is going to clip onto my lace. Pin that. Let's see how that's going to lay. Alright, I like that. I'm going to go ahead and grab my glue and start gluing this down. And we will be getting very close to being done with this page. Alright, I think I'm really pleased with how this turned out. I'm going to go ahead and ink up our information card for the day. And we'll get on with Professor Fernscrap's story. I didn't end up using several of the things that I initially thought I would use, like the pink ink and the Nuvo drops. I may come back as I'm finishing out embellishments for this complete journal and add more details. I will do a final flip through of this journal all put together at the end. Let's go ahead and stamp day 18. let's just clear this up just a little bit and we'll get on with seeing what Professor Fernscribe has to tell us today. Day 18, World of the Flower Nymph, the Fairy. Environmental notes: fields bursting with wildflowers of every hue, air alive with bees, butterflies, and birdsong, temperature warm, saturated with fragrance. Cultural observations: the flower nymphs are radiant beings who weave blossoms into hair and garments. They tend mortal-sized flowers as kin and companions. Pastoral society governed by rhythms of growth and bloom. Artifact notes: the fairy is not object but companion, a tiny winged being entrusted by the nymphs, no taller than my hand, glows faintly at dusk, carrying an aura of protective enchantment. Hypothesis: emissary appointed to serve as living artifact and witness. Narrative encounter: amid their gardens the nymphs gathered around me, whispering in fragrant voices. They presented me not with trinket, but with a being, a fairy, bright-eyed and delicate, who perched upon my shoulder with confidence. Their greatest treasure was alive. And that ends Day 18 of Fairy Wings and Forgotten Things. I hope you'll come back and join me tomorrow here in the attic as we see where Day 19 takes our professor. So until I see y'all again here in the attic, y'all take care.